Your video is actually out for a second. Yeah, it's your video and your audio sometimes. Your audio is better now,
Yeah.
but your video's
All
off.
right. But you can see it. Like,
It's fine for
wait,
me, but
yeah, I'm sorry. Like, can you see me now?
I don't even see your name. Like usually when okay, I see your name just popped up. Usually when you're connected, some things can be funny with the connection, but at least we could hear you. So I guess we'll just
Yeah.
start it
Yeah.
off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's start off. Let's start.
All right, yo, what's up? Check it out. It's your boy DGL7. We have another week with Christopher Leon Johnson, the hardest working man on the news scene. Yeah, I mean, got to give him a lot of props. And WBAI, if you're watching, I definitely, if you're giving me a spot, you should definitely, Christopher Leon Johnson is definitely on the front lines. He's definitely someone worth checking out, and I encourage everybody to subscribe to his stuff. You could find the link to his his work on my channel, which is this is being aired on down in the featured channels list. Once again, big props out to Christopher Leon Johnson. So we got a bunch of topics we came to talk on today. I could let me see what was the thumbnail say. Let me go load that up for a second. I think the first thing,
Yeah, no problem.
of course, usually the biggest news for some reason, right? Actually, I could have gone there. I didn't really care to go, right? Because I'm just so tired of AOC. But AOC was in town this week, and apparently that's a big deal for some reason. Um, so we could talk about that for a second. If
Yeah. So, can you hear me?
Oh,
Can you hear me?
the immigrant thing. Yeah, the immigrant is a big topic. Yeah, so go ahead. I
Yeah,
can hear
it's
you. Go
two
ahead.
topics. We'll start. Hey, so good morning, guys. Happy Memorial Day weekend. Tomorrow's Memorial Day. That's to celebrate all the fallen soldiers that served our country in the United
On
States of
this
America.
week, and
This
wait, I lost you. Yeah, hello. Do I still have internet? I do. Okay. For some reason, it seems like
right.
I just lost connection with you.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Hey, I'm sorry, guys. Hey, I'm sorry. Yeah, the connection's kind of crappy on my side. But yeah, this is to celebrate all the people that fall in America. So so what's going forward now? Happy Memorial Day weekend to everybody. I know it's this thing. People want to go out party and eat hot dogs and burgers and barbecue and etc. So let's start off with the first thing is AOC town hall. I didn't go to the town hall. I saw the town hall via stream and through other avenues. But usually now AOC, who's called Alexandria Ocasio Cortez, who serves into the 14th district that covers Queens and the Bronx, mainly like Parkchester Bronx and Country Club and Pelham Bay Park, Bronx, and mainly all the liberal areas in Queens like Astoria and Long Island City and Elmhurst, and it's a big district with New York NY14. She now is hosting town halls in the areas that she serves in because she has a big target on her.
Okay, we lost Christopher Leon Johnson again for a second.
Yeah, losing signal. So she have a big target on our back, a big target on her back. So now she hosts these town hall because she got to make it like she's in a district and she care about her community. So she's doing that for show. So what's going on now before we get into this is that now AOC's team AOC is now banning people, certain people attending the town halls.
Yeah, I'm surprised
Um,
that Jose Vega wasn't there to cause
he
his.
got banned from he got banned from the town. Him and other guy got banned from the town hall. Even Lucy got banned from the town hall
Who's
because
Lucy?
they Lucy can like she blocked me because I called her ass out on Twitter. She blocked me, but they all part of LaRouche. They all LaRouche people. Jose's LaRouche. All the
Okay,
people are part of the LaRouche movement.
they got
So they
Dewey
all
in though.
got banned.
I saw Dewey. Yeah,
Hmm?
Dewey got in there.
Yeah,
Dewey's not as
yeah,
vocal
because
though. Yeah, Dewey's not as
he's
loud.
not vocal. So
Yeah.
yeah, but they know about Jose and Nagatron and Lucy. So they banned all three of them. They even banned people that was talking to Lucy and those three. So they was being real petty and banning people from that. They thought that was going to disrupt the event from
Right.
attending the town hall. So they banned those three.
But
So
there was so many people there that was actually affiliated with Republicans or other groups. Like they
yeah,
had to know about.
because they didn't make
Go ahead.
hmm? They
I
didn't make it loud. They didn't make it.
Some of them did. I think that there was actually like almost half the audience was actually more than maybe even more than half the audience was actually people who was opposed to AOC. It seemed that
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, but they didn't make it loud as they were this time. Like they as like Jose and the rest of the crew. So it was
Yeah,
basically
yeah,
a BS. It was basically a BS town hall, like just a typical photo op town hall for AOC. And I didn't really care because AOC's I don't really care for her. You know what I mean? Could care less. But when
yeah.
I saw the photos on her official Twitter page, that was nothing but an agenda. Because there was one of the photos that at the last shot on the bottom right of her.
While he's gone, I'm just gonna say, yeah, I feel like each side has their own agenda that they're pushing,
Yeah,
and
they own
yeah,
they own agenda. So you're pushing the agenda of nice and make the world New York, nothing but nonprofits. So it was basically like that. It was nothing at all really to talk about. I mean, I don't really care about, like I said, about federal matters, about AOC, like the federal president. I don't really care. I mean, it's not my thing. I care about my local issues, and AOC is so detached from the local sector. It's just disgusting. So
that's
it's really
exact.
no point.
That's actually a great point. That's exactly why I kind of like lost my interest in AOC. I was actually invited to that event, and I think DeAndrea got in there. She's pretty loud, right? She could, but she's not the
Yeah,
same as Jose, right? Yeah, they wanted me there.
yeah,
You know what I mean? But I was like, once again, because AOC doesn't work on anything local because she's inaccessible, right? Because even if the Queens DSA Memphis co-chair, right, where Tyree Nichols just died, had like an arrest problem, right, and she's like supposedly supporting Drag Queen Story Hour, but someone's arrested for protesting on that particular front. She's not helping them. She's just completely inaccessible, even by higher ups at DSA. She's become her own celeb superstar, and she's just. I don't think that she's even without being accessible. Like I think going to her event is feeding into that. Making her someone who's important. I think we just got to have a real conversation with people on the ground and say, look, you don't get to talk to AOC. Your problems are not really addressed by AOC. She's talking from just speaking with her campaign consultants. Just she's not even really one of us anymore. It's really that's just yeah. I think she's a waste of time.
yeah.
Yeah,
Let's go forward. I mean,
yeah. All right.
also
So
talk the migrant.
well, the immigrant. The thing is that with the even though she's trying to channel towards immigrants, I could see people in the crowd were talking about other issues, right? Like the anti-war thing seems to be coming up quite a bit. Um, and I feel like the narrative's being managed, but yeah, we could. And from the immigrant, like locally, right? A lot of
Hmm.
people are making issues about the hotels being filled up with these immigrants. Now the thing is that we know that the homeless community, though, it seems kind of strange um, that all of these resources all of a sudden are available, right? And people in public housing are trying. I know there's thousands of units that are just empty, as they're trying to preserve them for gentrification or other private developers. So they're putting kids in these schools, and now they're putting them into hotels. Have you been following that story at all, or what do you
To
think
me,
about the
I
hotel?
could care. Like I said, I care less. They're here, but the immigrant migrants are here. They're human beings. There's no such thing as illegal humans. Like
One
I.
okay, one thing that's interesting, you might have seen me mention in other stories, is like Newburgh, New York, and how there's a
Hmm.
prison up there, and how there's affordable housing, and how they have a lack of jobs. Now, apparently, what Mayor Adams is doing is he's literally taking people from New York City, right, the migrants, and shipping them up to Newburgh or shipping them up to other, places in New York State.
Hmm.
Um, what do you have you heard about that, or what do you think about it? It seems like a way to really escape the. And he's actually asking for. New York City has a right to shelter. It's actually one of the most progressive cities in the nation, as in terms of like providing services for people that are homeless. You can look
Yeah.
it up, right? They have a mandate in the city charter to try to help people that are homeless. But the thing is that there's a lot of corruption, there's a lot of huge problems. But he's actually asking to delay that, or he's asking to make it so that the right to shelter laws are suspended. Yeah, that's an interesting.
Hmm.
Yeah, Mayor Adams actually trying to suspend the right to shelter laws, and
Yeah.
that's an interesting development that could change a lot of things for the homeless
Yeah.
community. So what do you think about that?
Well, I mean, Adams is trying to be the reactionary he is. He's trying to be. He's so desperate to try to say that he's just like this moderate dim. It's just disgusting. Adams is an opportunist. That's why Biden got rid of him because I think his team and Biden himself saw that Adams only cared about himself and his own brand, and he's going to throw people that he was pandering for under the bus. it just you can't have the guy around. Like Adams is something else. I could really care about the guy. Like I said, this topic it
So
just
you're saying
it's
Adams is throwing Biden under the bus?
no everybody under the bus. He's throwing the migrants under the bus. He's throwing Biden under the bus. He's throwing a lot of people under the bus because what's going on is he's forced to take money out of the budget to pay for the stuff. He had to appease all the sides, but now he's seen that this is not working out, and they feel.
On this particular topic, I do feel somewhat, sympathetic for,
Sorry, I think the signal is kind of crappy,
yeah,
but
it
no,
happens, yeah.
the signal's kind of stuff like that. So yeah, Adams have to appease all sides, but while at the same time, he had to take money out of the budget because Biden's not going to pay this guy back for it, and then he have to take cuts out of the budget for other things from the education and stuff like mainly education to pay for these migrants. And it's
I think
crazy.
that New York has a good point though, because the border was not right. Is not the fact that New York wasn't guarding its border, right? Because New York is a border state, and they have a border with Canada. It's not
Yeah.
right, but people are taking the failure of the border in Texas or Florida, wherever these people are coming in, and they're actually redirecting that towards specifically New York when they could, right? When it's not really New York's. The reason wasn't because New York wasn't not watching the border correctly. So, I think that I feel sympathetic with Mayor Adams, right? He walked in, the policy was already in place, right to shelter. He is asking for federal money. I think that's a fair claim because this is a national issue. It wasn't here in New York State where these migrants were allowed in, and by transporting them across state lines, that even makes it an FBI issue and a federal issue. I do think that he has a right to ask for federal funds to take care of this. Now, will the federal funds actually make it to the people being serviced? That's another issue and a whole nother question, right?
Yeah.
But by the way, when you cut out, are you able to still hear me, or do you
I
just?
can hear. I can hear. I can hear. I can hear.
Okay, so just wanted to make sure because I wasn't sure if. Okay, so I feel somewhat sympathetic. At first, he was supporting the migrants. I think most people do want to help other people out. But then once the numbers got to a certain extent, it was like, yo, it's going to cost a lot of money. Then he started making noise about it. I think that's normal. I can't really hate on him for that. So.
Yeah.
But you do bring some good points, and I really appreciate your perspective and knowledge on this particular realm. Which, by the way, so we talked about how they're shipping them up to Newburgh and stuff like that. There's other hotels, I think, that they're lodging them here in New York City. Which city council members or which assembly districts stand to gain the most or lose the most from this particular deal? Are any of those politicians or people running making noise about this?
Yeah, the 24th district. Oh, funny about the 24th district. I don't know why it was that because there's a candidate that's run for city council. I'm not going to support the guy. Give me 1 minute. Give me 1 minute.
I actually just had an interview with him, Jonathan Rinaldi, and that was all he was talking about, the immigrant. That's all. Everything that I asked him he was just pushing it back towards, oh, look at the immigrant issue. So that's interesting. But his opponent Gennaro is actually quite strong, and I think Jonathan Rinaldi has a very almost difficult, I think almost impossible task to win his race. Who knows though? You know better. I'm glad I have Chris Leon Johnson on the show. Yeah, I cannot hear you right now. I do see your mouth moving, so maybe you are actually cut out. So we're going to be getting back to this issue. I know that people may be watching have questions about the Candace Owens things. I can't wait to talk about that. That's pretty interesting. Oh, so now I see a picture. Do not hear anything. You are moving, but you are choppy.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. I was talking to my niece. I'm taking care. I'm doing duty for my niece. I'm sorry about that.
That's totally fine, boy. Don't worry about it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Hello. I'm here.
Yeah, I'm here. So, I was saying about the you were talking about the 24th district, and is that Rinaldi versus Gennaro?
Yeah, Rinaldi versus Gennaro. So I'm gonna tell you this way. That's why I say I don't really care about the migrant crisis because you got a lot of opportunists trying to exploit the crisis to try to give themselves some clout. In the 24th district, there's a Rinaldi versus Gennaro. So what happened was there was a rumor that the Q Motor Inn was going to be a shelter for the migrants. So they went all the way up there to do a rally and saying some reactionary stuff about the migrants, and it came out that it wasn't going to happen anyway. So they just went there for a photo op to try to get some attention. Gennaro is just too strong. Gennaro
he's very strong.
is
He's very strong.
He's very strong. He's well known in government. A lot of people in government respects the guy. So I don't think Rinaldi's going to win at all. Like, and if that were my case, I'm not going to endorse for Gennaro in the general election over Rinaldi. I mean, I don't really care. I don't like the reactionary stuff. If you want to be a reactionary, then I'm not going to support you for your office. So don't waste your time and call me and ask for help. You know what I mean? I don't like reactionaries.
I encourage people to watch my interview with Jonathan Rinaldi. I do appreciate him coming on the show. But he did actually twist basically almost every single issue that we had back towards the immigration thing. That was his main, it seems like that's the main. And that anybody can run any issue they want, but that that was really seemed like the major focus. So it's good to know. I didn't know about the Kew Gardens thing. I heard about that, but that was supposed to be like the main site for all of New York City for all the immigrants to go or something like that.
No, I think it was one of the sites. They try to put that in schools.
There's multiple. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of them.
Yeah.
So why is it such a big issue in the 24th district?
I don't know, because it's election time. It's election time. So you do anything to get some points of election.
Okay. Yeah, some districts, one of the hotels will be affected more than others, right? So there's going to be what goes on. Yeah. Now, Kew Gardens, I think it's actually one of the more wealthier districts, is it?
It's one of the wealthier districts in New York City. In Queensby is that. It's like Kew Gardens in like Jamaica and stuff like that.
Yeah. So, we have to make sure that the weight of responsibility is equally carried by different, groups. Some groups that already have stuff don't want to take care of any more stuff. We got to see what's going on, right? So, But, they also they didn't ask for this either. So there's some legitimacy to that concern as well. But it's just, we will be following this topic. Yeah, that's why you watch our show. Okay, talking about that whole crowd, right? The reactionaries getting together. Actually, one thing that's coming up is Blexit's actually inviting Candace Owens to come and speak in New York City. I think that's going to happen in a couple of weeks. That's interesting. All right, so Candace Owens, even though she's coming down to New York City, you'll notice that the lineup does not. It's Brandon Tatum. It's once again the star-studded celebrity cast. Is there anybody from New York City speaking on anything to do with New York City at all, or even New York State? I don't see that on the lineup so far.
No.
Right? Yeah?
Yeah.
So Candace Owens, I feel like it feels exploitative, really. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do you really want to help us or not? Here's some other interesting things I'm just going to blow about the Blexit, and I do appreciate Blexit as an alternative to try to hold Democrats accountable. Should blacks say, because I'm black, I should support Democrats? No, they have a right to ask, what are you guys doing for me? What are you guys doing for me? That's completely legitimate, and that's why I participate with Blexit, right? But if you take a look at Blexit leaders, right? Like, who's the regional leader for the Northeast? Ever heard about her? You don't know, right? Yeah, it's a little weird, right? And actually, how's the staff of Blexit? Like, do we ever hear from them, right? People say they're about the workers. They're about, fighting against elitism, stuff like that. Like, why don't we hear from the little people or even the local people here at Blexit? Let's also go, Marianne Williamson, she recently, the chief of staff left her organization. And I've been shouting about this before, right? Marianne Williamson sided with the elites. Right? Andrew Yang, when he crapped on every single person, every single captain of his campaign, left in disgust, right? Marianne Williamson teamed up with the elites. So you can see that Candace Owens is this very similar type of thing, right? The people that matter, pushing their agenda, stepping on little people, stepping on, right, locals, not caring, talking about whatever the media is making hot. It feels so fake, Candace. So.
I can talk about that right now. I don't care.
Blow it up.
Now,
that's why they
Exit. Yeah. Now about that, Exit is a organization that was founded in 2019, about 2018, 2019 with Kanye West. Because the point was Exit was to lead the Democratic Party. And people understand about Kanye West, he was really pro-Trump in 2018, 2019.
Okay.
So first, Blood Exit was like a brand. Blood Exit was more like a brand, like selling T-shirts and selling hats and stuff like that. Mainly, Blood Exit was like the American response to Brexit.
Okay, and Brex is like the British exit, yeah. So, yeah, it's like you could hear the similarity in the name. Um, Go ahead.
From Britain, the current Britain government. So they took that name from that. They called Black Exit, trying to get blacks to lead the Democratic Party.
Yeah.
Okay. So what happened later on? Kanye West threw Candace Owens to the wolves, and he ditched Brexit. So Candace Owens got Brexit after the fact. So she rebranded it Brexit to an organization and got the certain likeness with the
Why?
got the likeness.
Why did Kanye and Candace have beef? What happened?
I think he just didn't care. I think he did it for attention. He just wanted to act like he's political. Like a lot of celebrities try to do is act like they were political and they would just move the hell on.
He
So I
actually
think
ran
that's
for
what happened.
president. Kanye, yeah, you
Yeah,
know
in
that? Yeah.
2020.
I'm actually
Yeah,
shocked that
yeah.
he.
So
I'm actually shocked that he didn't win because if people voted in a real, reality TV show guy, I thought that Kanye would have a shot, but he didn't do too well.
yeah, but he didn't get on. He didn't get on ballots in certain states. So
What he needed was Hillary Clinton building him up. Yeah. If we look at Trump, really, he's a product of the Clinton.
yeah, so he didn't have a chance. But anyway, he didn't get on ballots in certain states. So just whatever. All right. So going forward, Candace Owens started her own organization 2020 called Black Exit. I was part of that. I was part of that launch call. So people got to say I was part of that launch call and have receipts of me saying that I was on that launch call. I was actually on the launch call.
Oh, cool.
And I knew
Interesting.
about how you can't endorse candidates, you can't use an organization to endorse candidates, and etc. So, I think Black Exit is a BS organization. The chair of the New York State chapter is Madeline Brame.
Okay.
To be kind of funny that the state chapter of Black Exit New York is president is Madeline Brame, and people understand about Madeline Brame. You understand what?
Hold up. Yeah, we lost you for a second. Yeah. Oh, Madeline Brame. Okay, yeah. And just so you know, there's other stuff I'm going to be talking about in a moment about Madeline Brame because she actually appeared with George Grasso in the Queen's DA's race, and there's some other stuff going on with that. Yeah. So.
Yeah,
Go ahead. You were talking about
yeah,
Madeline
but
Brame. Go ahead.
yeah, let's talk about that. And then I don't know what I think they got her there, but eventually when Black Exit gets bigger, and it will get bigger than expected, they're gonna get rid of Madeline because they're gonna see how real toxic she is, and the people on top will see like, yo, this lady's toxic. She can't represent New York no more. We got to get rid of her, get someone more like optical.
Why do you say she's that's going to be its own, and you heard it here first, right? Yeah, if they do end up getting rid of Madeline Brame, you heard us like calling it out before anybody else did. A lot of these other clueless ass pundits, they have no idea. So go ahead, tell us.
They're going to get rid of Madeline. They will get rid of Madeline, and I have a big reason why they will get rid of her, and it's a reason they got her there for now, because Black Exit is not popular as it is.
Right. Well, it's really relying right now, I think, on the star power of Candace Owens, and Candace Owens has shaky credibility.
When I know audio's crappy, but when any organizations get bigger, they start leveling up with people. So they will get rid of Madeline for somebody else, probably more younger and somebody they can really control.
More attractive, really exactly, yeah. And
more attractive and could push the New York chapter to where they really want to get pushed. Because Madeline can't push New York to where they really want to if they get bigger than they are right now,
Yeah, there's actually, I worked with a lot of campaigns, and there's also always this struggle between nationals and locals, especially when you have a larger organization like New York or LA. That was true in the Yang Gang, it was true in the Tulsi Squad. It's true in a lot of these, on the ground movements. It's true in the Libertarians, right? Yeah, it's true in Republicans and Democrats even, right? Yeah. Democrats more team players, but there's also factionalization. So this does happen, Madeline Brame. Watch it back. Why isn't Candace Owens talking about you or bringing you on stage? You should be asking questions yourself, right? Like whether they call you toxic or not, right? Like even in your own interest, right? What is Brexit really doing for you? So it's a little strange that she's coming down here in 2 weeks, and even her own, right? Even if her own, I understand the concerns about Madeline, but she is the New York director, and she should be if Candace comes to New York, that's just bad optics for Madeline to be nowhere around the whole event. It shows that something's funny is up, that which other press won't talk about. So that's what's
Yeah.
yeah. Okay.
So let's talk about George Grosso and her. You want to talk about that?
Oh yeah. So okay. So recently, George Grasso made an appearance with Madeline. Now the thing is that George Grasso, I feel like this that this corporate campaign consultants behind the scenes are trying to manage, or someone's controlling, trying to play games. Like from the very first thing that we talked about, like with the immigrant crisis going on in District 24, right? The way that only certain people attended that event, and those people are super nice to me, so I appreciate them. But they appearing at certain events and not others. Now, you can check out George Grasso's Facebook page, and you'll see that I've already dropped several links about the wrongful convictions of Nolan Farrell and Keith Gadsden. There's actually a Queen's Eagle article. If you type in Queen's DA and deposed, right, DEPOSED, then you could see that the previous district attorney was actually, and John Catalano, were deposed. They had to testify in front of court about a technique called China walling, where they would deliberately, because these prosecutors, they need to keep a conviction rate of 95 to 99%. They got to have an extremely high level of conviction rate in order to be considered legit. That puts them under a lot of pressure to convict people that are innocent. So they had this so that was known about. So George Grasso, right, if people are guilty, if people are like out there with like 40 prior arrests and stuff like that, I can see where it's absolutely reasonable for someone to say, look, we gotta hold these people accountable, and people are getting hurt. That's not good. But when people have been wrongfully incarcerated, when people are innocent, people have been serving like decades in prison, George Grasso could speak up. But instead of talking with me, and once again, go to his Facebook page, look at the things that I dropped on there. I've sent him emails. I've documented that on my channel. He's not talking to us at all. He's pretending like we don't exist. Yeah. He's trying to play the mainstream narrative of of let's be tough on crime, and there is validity to that. And once again, I want to give you so much props, Christopher Leon Johnson, for your work on this issue.
Thank you.
You know what I mean? You're actually from Brownsville, and people like AOC need to listen to you and make you part of the process and not just shut you out on their rhetoric. Yeah?
Yeah.
So, but, the George Grasso thing, the way that they working together, it feels manufactured, and it feels kind of artificial.
Yeah.
Can you, do you have any particular information or...
what you mean,
like why would George Grasso completely ignore the topic of this is the second longest incarcerated man with proof of his innocence, freed by by the longest serving state senator in state history? It seems like it's a great chance for George Grasso to jump on the topic and to really drive that, but he's not. Right? Yeah. Any idea why he might be pulling something like that? Why wouldn't he address? Why would he ignore that? Why wouldn't he address that?
No, because George is a former cop.
Okay. And?
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah. George. I'm gonna talk about George. Right, George. Like, I met the guy a few times. I don't like his energy. His energy is horrible. See, George is a retired cop, and cops are known for helping the system burn people. Now, people don't understand that cops. I didn't wait 1 second. Wait, I'm sorry about that.
That's okay. Yeah, he's playing kind of tough guy role, right? Yeah, and cops don't always have to be the tough guy. Sometimes you got to be the tough guy, but not all the time.
No, but they might. Oh yeah, sorry about that. All right, so let's go out like cops and district attorneys, right?
Okay.
Cops and district attorneys. I'm sorry, cops and district attorneys. Oh my God. Cops and district attorneys are known for working together to burn people. Now, all right, so cops and district attorneys are known for working together, right?
Yeah.
Cops and district attorneys are known for working together. and they know for burning people, especially in like Queens and all the five boroughs. They know for burning people for no apparent reason to help justify the getting the money from the budgets, because the more convictions they get, the more money they get from the state and the elected officials to help their offices, to help their offices. Um,
Yeah.
so you know, now what happens is, see, guys like George, and that's why I say people don't really care. The media is not going out for God because they know the guy just like Cats. He's just as bad as Cats. If people say that, he's way worse than Cats because he knows that he's not going to say anything. The only reason he's running because Cats is allegedly not good on with the crime stuff. Crime is big in New York City, so he's
Yeah.
trying to capitalize on the crime problem in New York City. But when it comes to policy, he's just the same as Cats. He mingled with the same people Cats mingle with. So there's nothing like a real alternative. The only alternative is like you got a guy that's gonna be a district attorney, but there's nothing really alternative to Cats at all. Cats is well respected by a lot of people. She's well respected by a lot of elected officials. She's a former legislator, so that's a big experience.
Yeah, she has huge endorsements. I mean, it's looking like, yeah, like, and she's just protecting her own. It's just and when they talk about the getting tough on crime, I'm not mad at them getting tough on crime, but go. Why is all the tough on crime being focused on the street level? Which I'm not saying that they shouldn't focus on it at all, but there's no accountability from people who are at the top. There's no accountability from the CEOs or from the rich community. All right, they're just gonna they're gonna bulk their numbers up by, you know, targeting, you know, poor people, right? There's rich people who are criminals too. Melinda Katz is actually the Queen's DA. 10 Veils, aka 12 Veils, is in the chat, and so is Jim Engels, Officials People's Party. Yeah, District Attorney. Let me shut that off. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, Chris. Yeah, you sound far away though. Yeah. Yeah. No, and your video's out. Yeah. I can hear you, but you're coming in kind of like.
I know.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna have to get that phone later. Yeah. Anyways, yeah. So the DA, it's a rough look for my man, Reverend Keith Gadsden and Nolan Farrell, but I'm still making progress as in terms of getting this issue addressed. I'm gonna try to drive it, and expose, right, and use the election to really drive more attention to the issue. Yeah. But thanks for letting me know about what's going on, man. Yeah, like. You're breaking up. Yeah, you're not really coming in. Plus, I can, yeah, but your connection, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I could hear you. Yeah.
I said there's no real. I said there's no real. Katz is going to win the election, probably on a landslide. Grasso has no chance of winning. Katz is well respected by a lot of people in the party, and she's respected by county. So she's going to win her race in a landslide. I mean, Grasso has no chance of winning. He just running on some type of.
So like, it's interesting that, like, despite this fact that National Action Network, right, even though Sharpton's not coming out to help us like directly, but he is sending his people out. That's politically, not really in his interest, right? So that's kind of
yeah, it's not, because he worked with Katz. They work together.
Yeah.
Now, I think the only reason he's doing that because to shut them up. It's not because he cared. He just do it to shut them up. It's like there's nonprofits that do the same thing. They don't want to jump on calls because they care. They jump on certain things because they want to shut people in their organization up.
Well,
that's all they
these
care
guys
about.
have been going to the National Action Network on a regular basis, and they told the kids and stuff. So they're getting invested on this fight. Yeah. So we're gonna see what's up, but it's an interesting thing to watch, and I'm happy to be a part of it, to watch it to unfold. Right, this is happening at a bigger level than a lot of things that I touch. So this is quite interesting. Yeah, thank you for your input on that. Go ahead.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay, so there's other stuff going on right now. Let me check the. We talked about Candace Owens. We're also talking about. Okay. So right now, another issue that's coming up is New York City apparently has some type of alcohol expansion type policy going on. You were recently involved with some activity, I think, on Friday. Why don't you tell us about what's going on with that?
So in 2000, like yesterday, Friday, today's Saturday. I'm sorry about this, kind of doing another business. So Friday there was a rally with Assembly Member Lester Chang, he serves Bensonhurst, that's his district, and a little part for Hamilton Parkway, that's his like mainly like Sunset Park and like Bensonhurst is his district. So he had a rally on Friday afternoon, like 11 o'clock. Him opposing the bill that is being introduced in the state senate by Senator Jamal Bailey to expand the alcohol and wines into stores, into the supermarkets. You know, yeah. So in the supermarkets, and then she will in the supermarkets. Then she would, and there's another bill that's hosted by Senator Kruger that will establish stuff inside the stores. So what will happen if those bills get passed the state senate and mostly be approved by the state assembly? Will will allow the like Wegmans and like Safeway and like all the big box stores to start selling alcohol and wine inside the stores. So that's going to affect the small business because everybody go to supermarkets to shop,
Okay, so
and everybody know that supermarkets sell wines and alcohol for cheap, things cheaper than the
yeah,
regular
they
stores.
sell. Don't they already sell wine and beer? I mean, I don't think they sell like
I
hard
don't think
liquor,
so.
but are
I
they
think they
trying to?
sell.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they try to sell like alcohol, like liquor, and like inside the stores.
Okay. So, it's kind of sad. Like like I'm generally for allowing more permissiveness and stuff, but when
Mm-hmm.
people start drinking, they lower their inhibitions. They're more likely to to spend more, things like that. They're really relaxing the restrictions that are putting people more into predatory marketing
Mm-hmm.
schematics. And is that really the priority? God,
Yeah.
okay, it's kind of I'm not really with it. Like I'm for more permissiveness, but the whole priorities and the direction is just what is this crap? Yeah, so that's why I'm an activist. Tell you the truth, yeah, this type of stupid stuff. Yeah. Um, Good to know. Yeah. Oh, by the way, 12 Veils also commented that National Action Network is involved, but no media was present when they were having the Jordan Neely discussion. Yeah, yeah, that's true. Yeah, the every group comes in, National Action Network, right? The media, activists like myself, we all come in with our own priorities, perspectives, even agenda, and it needs to really you need a more complete picture. That's another reason why I got to give props to Christopher Leon Johnson's work. I do edit my videos to try to make them easier to watch, but Christopher Leon Johnson provides the whole event from beginning to finish, uncut, unedited. He's really a great tool for any political activist to really, watch his stuff and access that material uncut, so you can really see what's going on. Did the politician really stay there for the whole time, or did they just speak and leave, right? You're going to find that by watching Christopher Leon Johnson's work. Go ahead. Can you hear me, Chris? Okay, we cannot hear you at the moment. So, okay, you're we can't really. I could hear you just very faintly. Yeah, it's I don't know if it's the connection or you're far from the mic, but I can hear you, but it's kind of far away. Yeah.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4.
I can hear you, but you're low. Yeah. I can.
Yeah.
That's better now. Whoa. Okay, now that sounds a lot better. Okay. So yeah, and just so you know, 12 Veils is in the chat once again. She talks about how WPIX, Bronx 12, New York Times, New York Post, they weren't present. Did they create a press release? Yes, actually. I also emailed the press about that protest that we did recently at the Queens DA's office. The press didn't show up. There does seem to be a certain amount of collusion and control, and they decide what gets out there and what doesn't. I'm going to talk more about how this cabal of narrative controllers out there is actually, it seems like they might be letting me in or trying to make me feel like I'm being let in. We're going to talk about that in a moment, but I just want to check with Christopher Leon Johnson. He's got so much quality insight. Chris, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, yeah, it's better now. Okay, so yeah, just addressing 12 Veils, 10 Veils stuff in the chat. And once again, I do see what you're saying, Jim Engel. Thanks again for your participation. All right. All right.
Thank
So,
you.
yeah. So, the alcohol, we talked about that for a moment. And now is you said Lester Chang was involved. Is he supporting it? Is he against it? What's
He's against it. He's against the bill.
Against
the bill.
As an Asian American Republican, I've asked him several times for an interview. I actually contacted Bernard Chow. Bernard Chow, I think, is running on the ran in Lester Chang's campaign, so I think he's part of. But we were talking for a minute, and then he backed out of doing the interview. So I don't know if he was given instructions or what's going on. I'm gonna still be chasing that down. So we'll have to see where that ends up. But I have contacted Lester Chang several times about doing an interview with myself as an Asian American activist, but that's not happening yet. We'll see what's up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, Bernard Chow, do you know who I'm talking about?
Yeah, he's running against Linda Lee in the 23rd district.
Yeah, and he's actually connected to. He said he actually worked in the Lester Chang's campaign. Did you know about that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. Yeah, so apparently there's some connection there. So we'll have to see if there's some type of, new groups forming and stuff like that. Interesting. Okay. So, all right. Anything else going with this? Now, the small biz, I think, is actually a Korean American guy is actually at the head of that, right? Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Interesting to watch. Yeah. Once again, another guy that I've contacted that has never responded, or there's some shenanigans going on. Yeah. We'll get. To, we'll get to that in a moment. Also, talking about some more of the stuff, I do have like a little lineup here of stuff. Now, recently, I think that you called out Sandy Nurse and some other politicians. Let's talk about that. You're taking more active.
So that was a crazy Wednesday, everybody. So it's over. So I'm not gonna really go ballistic about what happened, because it's over. It's somebody cares. At the end of the day, I got what I said, and I got what I need, and I moved the hell on. So Wednesday was a campaign finance. It was not campaign. It was a city council finance meeting. It was the final meeting for the finance talks, because every year the city council has to pass a budget of what they want to spend on and how much money the district's going to get for discretionary funding and capital funding. So that was basically the last day for that. So the last day they dedicated to the public. They dedicated the whole day to public hearing. So I didn't knew how they did it. I thought they did it by first come first serve. I learned the hard way. But I'm not mad. But next time, I'll have to find a way to get into the algorithm to speak a little quicker. So they let the union speak, they let the nonprofit speak, and after that, they let the regular people speak. So I was there for almost 12 hours, over 11 hours till I got to speak. So I'm not going to bore you guys. That was basically what happened. So while I was doing that, everybody, I covered the what's the event? I covered the city council employees event. Then I went to support the UFT. Then I went to support the police, the closed Riker stuff. That was crazy. Then I went to support the Susan Lee, Poi Chai, Poi Stewart, Christopher Marte, Helen Kui, and what's her name? Ursula Jung debate. So I was doing that all at the same time I was supposed to speak. Then after that, I went back, and then I spoke at the city council hearing about almost 10 o'clock. So when I spoke, I called to call for the defunding of Vocal New York. But while before that, I don't know, did I snap? Did I black out? I don't know. People got to let me know that I did that. I called out Sandy Nurse to her face because she didn't want to apologize for her defending Vocal New York when Douglas Powell was saying that racist stuff about Asian people. And then Douglas Powell, she stood with Douglas Powell a few weeks back at the Jordan Neely Vigil that was hosted by Vocal New York. So I called her out about that. I think I just went in for 2.5 minutes. Yeah. That's my thing.
I appreciate you doing that. Yeah. Well, it would be nice if Susan Lee could do it, but I know she's in the campaign, so.
Yeah, she can. Yeah,
she can't just take 12 hours and just jank it off to to say one thing at the council. Where, how many city council members were listening? Maybe one or.
It was 3.
Oh, okay.
Just Brandon was a chair. Okay. Julie Wan was there, and Sandy Nurse was there.
That's good. Okay. I've seen city council members be on the phone or not really paying attention, or sometimes
Yeah.
there'll be one placeholder there so they could say that they were listening, and everybody else goes home, right? They
Yep.
one takes it for the team. So, but I guess
Yep.
this was a big deal because of the budget, so they had to have three, right? Yeah, there's a whole bunch more city council members there, but they need to make it look like they're paying attention. So they got three people there. What's going to actually come of it? Hey, we're here to document it. So we documented our work, right? Yeah. And I'm here and I'll follow this up. You put in 12 hours of your time. That's very valuable time. By the way, if you're, Susan Lee's lucky to have you with her. I would say that Christopher Leon Johnson is more knowledgeable than many campaign consultants, and I would recommend his at least to sit down and talk for anybody running for office here in New York City, just to at least get inside Chris's head, or just see what he has. You don't have to agree with everything, but at least hear what he has to say about what's going on locally, and what there's just so much to learn about that. Yeah. Thanks again for being on the program. Yeah.
Yeah, no problem, bro.
All right. So anything. Hopefully, some of the people come on the channel UFT. I'd be glad to have them on the program, talk more about their issues, what's going on. And talking about that, recently you also, I think, made a presentation on, I think we talked about it a little bit this last week, but you said something about e-bikes. Something has developed on the e-bikes front. Okay. Did you say something had developed on the e-bikes front?
Yeah. Can you hear me? Yeah, you hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you now. Yeah. So what happened with the e-bikes?
All right, so I usually don't do that type of stuff, but what happened was I got bored, and then I was like, we can get my bucket list about it, and we go and make a video.
I'm sorry. Yeah, your audio is getting kind of messed up.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
I can hear you. Yeah, but yeah. Okay, it's a little better now. Yeah, go ahead. Oh no, it's dropping out again. Yeah, I think it might be the connection. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, the audio is not good. So while he's he's working on his equipment there, I'm gonna bring up this other topic right quick. And
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. Yeah. Okay. You want to get? I can hear you, but yeah, it's kind of like once you start talking, right? Like you sound like far away, and let's give it one more shot. Otherwise, I'll start to talk about the other issues I have.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
It's acceptable, I guess. Yeah, give it a shot. Go ahead.
So yeah, so I'm sorry about that. I know the audio stuff is my signal track. So yeah, so going back to what I said before, I know that 2023. We have a big e-bike battery problem. So I think everybody knows about those big fat old Chinese made like batteries that's the size of my ankle, size of your ankle, or the size of your leg. They be attached onto the regular bikes, and then they can make the bike go faster. I don't know how they do it, but it makes the bike go faster. Now, what usually happens is those batteries blow up, and when they blow up in apartments, they can make the whole building go on fire. I don't know how it works, but it makes the whole building go on fire. So now what happens is there's an organization that's called Los Libres Unidos, and they refuse to they advocate for the workers, but they're not doing the right advocacy to get this stuff really help the person to help people out, because this is a big serious issue. People getting killed because of these batteries, and they're the ones that the city council and the mayor's office have resigned to really advocate for the workers. Los Libristas Unidos is a project that was inherited, like technically got merged by the Worker Justice Project, and because of them, they get government funding, and then they get not only government funding, they get foundation funding. So
I'm sorry, we've lost your audio. Yeah, but just so you know, I'm actually have been a physics. I've even tutored college level physics for some time, and the thing is that the equation, right, for voltage and current is actually available right here, right? Voltage equals current times resistance, and the thing is that by juking the battery, right, voltage is actually the potential difference, and the current is how much actual energy is being sent through, total energy. So when we, oh, you can hear Chris.
I can
Okay.
hear you.
Okay, good to know. Yeah, your sound is muffled though.
Yeah.
So the thing is that by altering the battery, you can actually push more, current through the wire. You're going to have a greater amount of resistance. That's going to cause, right? When you have resistance, you're going to have heat, and the heat is causing the fires. And the thing is that people who know what they're doing, right, could even jerry-rig their own cars. Or like when you know what you're doing, right? You all watch Breaking Bad, right? When Walter White goes and starts, messing with stuff. People who a little bit of knowledge can be dangerous. So I am actually a scientist myself, and I can jerry-rig stuff if I need to. There's a lot of there's not a lot of good standards in the industry. One of the things that keeps things safer, a lot of things that people have used to own used to be dangerous, right? From medical devices to even probably the cars that we ride, or even bikes, right? Even pedal bikes, right? But what happened is that certain standards were put into place that made them safer. So I think that right now the electric bike industry is figuring it all out, but too much commercial interest is keeping regulations and a really intelligent look at the problem, because people are making money off of it. So they're just saying, don't ask questions, or they're trying to scooch as much as they can through before the if you people understand the culture of Chinese manufacturing and stuff like that, I think it would really help to understand the supply chain. But once again, Asian voices are not really, they were only listened to in one particular way, and that ignorance really hurts the American consumer. That's just straight up, yeah. One of these days we could probably dive into that deeper, but this is a real thing. Yeah, maybe I could hear you now.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Maybe you could watch the this later, yeah, and you can see how the how your sound is, yeah. It is what it is. Okay. All right. So the e-bikes thing. Anything else you want to really chip in on that particular topic? Chat, help me out, right? Yeah, tell me if you see his mouth moving and you see, because I see his mouth moving. I hear like one or two words, and then all the rest of it I don't hear anything. Is it just me, or is it chat? Let me know. Yeah. Yeah, like right now I see his mouth moving. I don't hear anything.
Yes.
I heard that. I just heard him just say something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hello?
He's on a mobile device. Yes, that's true. He is
Hello?
on a mobile device. Yeah.
Hello?
I can hear you a lot better now. Yeah.
All right. So yeah, I'll say about that. So yeah, I apologize, guys. I went all the way down there, took the bus all the way down there to the spot, and I decided to do a video, trying to explain like why we need this shit bad, and I showed some bikes, blah blah blah. So later on, they came out. The executive director came out, and she was seeing what was going. I think she knew who I was. So we had a conversation about this, and she was saying the stuff that she used to say at these interviews about, oh, we're working on this, and the city council say, look, you guys are not working on this. I mean, it's just like, well, I had to explain that, say, you guys are not really doing the right thing and trying to get this pushed to the city council. And it just like, it's on video. I mean, I don't want, it's self-explanatory, what I said to them. I know I'm respectful to them. I didn't curse them out, and basically, they just trying to find a way to make some money, because when you purposely stall the stuff, you could just by getting money from the foundations. Nonprofits are real perverted of how they get money. They see a problem, and they find a way to solve the problem instead of solving the problem. Because if the problem gets solved, they can't make the money they want to make. So that's the thing with them.
Absolutely. Yeah, this is a real problem. Actually, the chat's saying they can hear you a lot better now. I think now that you move close to the camera, I think it's helping a lot. So
yeah,
and I hear you a lot better now. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
All right, cool. All right, so the e-bikes, once again, stay tuned with us. This will be an ongoing issue, I'm sure. All right, so another topic that we're talking about right now is last week we actually had the art show, right? Yeah, and now this community, the artist community, a lot of times they get wrapped up into different politics and stuff like that, but they're not really deep into that life. but it was cool to bring our activism to a new audience. A lot of times when you go to activist stuff, it's the same faces again and again. We really need to be able to reach out to new communities. So that was pretty cool, and there are some interesting. So the thing is that if you watch my material, you'll see me complaining like for like 3 years ongoing that I've been blackballed from like so many media outlets. But now all of a sudden, right, like I'm actually getting reached out to. So like WBAI just emailed me. They're like, oh, we want you on the show, or we're thinking about making you a news contributor. Larry Sharp all of a sudden, right, has invited me to come onto his show, whereas before he had someone named a whole bunch of New York City activists who really have done much less than I have, right? They were trying to replace me, but I didn't go anywhere. I kept fighting, and I'm out here, right, every day on the train, right, like telling people about my activism. So they know, like, it's really going to be hard to stop me. I'm keeping a force on the scene. Now, there's something called Convention of States that I recently did an interview with them, and now Libertarian Party is going to be having an interview with them. So I know that a lot of people or maybe campaign consultants are watching my material to try to see where I'm going to go next, and I'm just not going to stop. So, yeah. Now, Ten Veils asks what's, she says, what was that about, Chris? Vocal New York was at the rally. And yeah, one day we should just do maybe a whole show with you and me about Vocal New York, because I too need to learn about what's going on. I do see Vocal New York at a lot of the stuff that I do, but you
which rally we're talking about before? What rally we're talking about?
Vales, which rally? She's asking about, Vocal New York is in a lot of stuff, and just so you know, Vocal is actually is actually in other states as well. I think they're in Kentucky. They're in 3 or 4 other states as well. They're not just here in New York, but so we'll wait to hear from 12 Veils on that particular issue. Because she wants to know Chris wants to know which rally you're talking about. So the Convention of States is actually a reform organization to try to create amendments to the Constitution to try to create more accountability. And Ron DeSantis recently endorsed it, which is actually right. There are some ties to the Republican, the right-wing side for Convention of States, but when the establishment is the Democrats right now, sometimes the second most powerful group will actually become a de facto resistance group. Not saying that we shouldn't be watching them as well, because we absolutely should, right? To just trust the Republicans or the right wing unilaterally is just I don't approve of that either, right? But right now they can help us get some issues. But once again, are they right on 12 Veils? She said Vocal New York supported Nolan Farrell and Reverend Keith Gadsden rally. That is true, okay. But notice that it was only the management. It was only those 2 guys. You've seen the 2 guys again and again, and it's no. There was actually some other the ground base actually came. A couple more people from Vocal came, yeah. So hopefully this could grow, right? I know Vocal has a decent ground presence, and I do appreciate them coming out to support the Nolan Farrell and Reverend Keith Gadsden rally. If the right wing wants to really be, we're taking on establishment corruption here in this case, they could come out too, but they're not. They're playing a game with that George Grasso stuff. So it's some weird stuff going on, but this is a great place to. Chris said that Vocal New York has a level 3 sex offender. You can look that up. I think that once again, if you follow Chris's Twitter, if you follow his Facebook, you'll see him post about this multiple times. He's Vocal. I think the level 3 sex offender is Akeem Browder, but what about the what's his name, Douglas? Is he a level 3 sex offender? The guy from Vocal? What's that? Yeah. Okay. So what's that, Chris? About the level 3 sex offender stuff 12 Veils wants to know. You could tell him about it.
Douglas Powell, he spoke at he was there recently with you guys at that shit again, the Nolan Farrell thing.
So what sex offender stuff did he do again?
He has sex with a 15-year-old girl.
Okay.
So,
how old was he when this happened?
I don't know, but I mean, he probably was an adult. I mean, he probably is, I don't know, but
if he's 18, I mean, it's still not good, right? But it's like it's different from him being like 30 or 40 and then having sex with like a 15-year-old. Like that's to me, anyways. Yes. So I got to find out more about that. The Akeem Browder, I think, is a similar situation to like that kind of like more. There's less of an age gap than
Hmm.
But still, you shouldn't do it, right? If you're just find another 18-year-old, stop it. You know what I mean? Um,
Yeah.
okay.
Hmm.
So, all right, let's talk about so the Libertarians. That's something to be watching, and that's going to be happening June 10th. So that's coming up soon. Um, and once again, talking about narrative management. Even though the crowd was talking about anti-war, you'll see that a lot. If you watch the raw footage, I think there's something called News to Share. You ever met News to Share? You know who that is?
No, met them in my life. I heard of them.
Okay, yeah. If you, they're also someone who carries a little bit more of the raw data, like Chris does. And if you watch the actual protests, more people are talking about war and stuff like that. But that's not being carried by the pundits and the YouTubers, the commentators, right? Like the who's Candace Owens, the Brandon Tatums of the world. They're reframing the AOC thing to really be about the immigrants. They're really trying to. It feels um, controlled. Maybe it's not, but something feels artificial about it. For real.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just me though. Yeah, but I want you guys to look into it for yourself and share your own thoughts. And if you have something to say for or against this position, I invite you to come on the channel and have a discussion. Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay. So there's that. Other thing that we could talk about is one thing that's weird is that I think there's some new law in New York City about weight discrimination. Did you hear about that?
Yeah. Yeah. You can't discriminate on weight because there's certain places where you could say we want to hire you because you're overweight or because you have a certain body size. We want to hire you for a job. So recently, what happened? Sean Abreu, he served the 7th district.
Okay.
That's basically a little part of Washington Heights and little part of West Harlem, like Harlem by the water. If you ever go to Harlem, if you see the bridge that's
Right.
on by Columbia University, that's Sean Abreu's district. So Sean Abreu is the current council member. He succeeded the current Manhattan Borough President Mark Levine to become the councilman.
Okay.
So Sean Abreu introduced a bill to ban that. Like, well, you can't discriminate based on weight, and it got introduced. It got to the floor. It got voted, and then the mayor signed it this recently last week. So that's going to make sure that if you're overweight, you can't be discriminated because you're overweight. I'm not a big fan of discriminating people on weight. I go by character and personality. You can be fat as like a fat bastard
Yeah.
on but if you have great personality, that's what I care about. If you have a great heart, I care. And that's what people should judge about. People should judge on a person's character, not on a person's skin color or a person's religion or a person's body size. I mean, that's my thing. I don't know why that came, but it has to happen. Sean
We'll have to
did it.
see which.
Sean did it.
Yeah. I wonder which industry that was really placed in. Like I could see like in the personal training.
I
Um,
think it's civil. I think
yeah.
it's probably civil rights. I think it's probably under civil rights, more like civil rights. But
Because uh,
Sean's the chair of the state. Sean's chair of state and federal legislation in the city council committee. So basically, you do anything with federal legislation and state legislation. But I don't. But
there
I think
there
it's
was there was recently a lady who recently a black lady who got fired from Equinox, and
yeah.
she actually won I think almost $2 million lawsuit. She was coming in late to her stuff, but she claimed discrimination and she was awarded almost $2 million.
Oh yeah,
Now,
because what happened in a lot of like places like that, places like Equinox. Equinox is a upscale gym.
yeah,
Equinox is known. It's like Equinox is like known for like the upscale shit.
yeah,
Equinox is like it's more like your bougie Soho, like NoHo
yeah. They charge
niche.
$50 to $100 for per month for the gym.
Yeah, but they
So
got the
yeah,
client the
it's a status symbol.
clientele. The clientele is different from like your Planet Fitnesses and Blinks.
Yeah,
The clientele is like more like upscale clientele.
yeah,
So usually what happens is the people that work there and it's usually the managers, they only mingle with people that they see it upscale. So
yeah,
majority of the time, the blacks that are there, they have to really go along and get along and they have to act like the more like the white ones.
yeah,
And so if you don't act like them and you don't try to do their lifestyles, then they're going to try to give you a hard time.
yeah.
So that's probably what happened was
And
she didn't want to
they
go.
want you
She
to
didn't go.
look and they want you to sound a certain way. So I wonder if that right if the weight discrimination, because it's going to be hard to find someone who looks overweight as a personal trainer in like Equinox Gym. I wonder if that could be the
Yeah,
basis for a
that's not
future
gonna happen.
lawsuit.
That's not gonna happen at all.
Yeah,
But I don't think it's weight with that situation. I don't think it was weight discrimination. It was more like a cultural discrimination, and that
yeah,
was probably what happened. And it's mostly a lot of places like that is like go along to get along. If you go along, you can come. You can come late. You can leave early. You
yeah,
can do a lot of things. But if
yeah.
you don't get along, then they'll penalize you for
They find a
anything that
reason.
you.
Yeah,
Yep. So
yeah. Good to know.
that's probably
Yeah.
what happened.
Also, in national news, I didn't put it in the thumbnail, in the title, but there is the debt ceiling. It seems to be a large, topic of interest. How would the debt ceiling actually affect New York City? Would it affect it in any particular way? It would just allow them to borrow more money to shovel to these not-for-profits, right? Or these corrupt
Yeah.
NGOs. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. That's basically. Other than that, I don't see the debt ceiling having much of an effect on regular people, and also
Mm-mm.
pumping up the was it the inflation. So
Yeah.
yeah. So once again, George Grasso, right? Like, you want to be tough on crime. Why are you only talking about street crime? What about these financial crimes? What about these, this other stuff that's going on? Come on, man. Yeah. It's not really.
Yeah.
I'm not saying don't take care of the street crime, but that's all you're talking about. It feels false, and the receipts are out there. I put them out. Yeah.
Hmm.
All right. So, also public housing. They moved over from Brad Peck, something called the Housing Preservation Trust, something that's actually quite controversial. I've been working with
Hmm.
the public housing community, and unfortunately, even though they were able to carry one of the things off, the mobilization of that community hasn't really improved enough to the point where I feel satisfied. And there's certain forces, once again, NGOs that are really muscling. Sunrise actually pushed me out of save Section 9 to an extent. So there's other controllers in that industry as
Yeah.
well with their shenanigans. It's disgusting, yeah. But this is the during primary season, which is coming up very soon, and actually you've committed to, and this is actually, I think that Chris is actually a decent role model out here, right? People say they want to glorify these casual pundits and these candidates. Six-figure Christopher Leon Johnson has been doing. I actually went to dig on your channel. You've been doing
Thank you.
this reporting from the streets for years.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. And really, really quite unsupported or untalked about as well. And
Thank you.
we need to really start paying more attention to people on the streets that's actually doing the work out here. So, these corrupt NGOs too much control the narrative a lot and work with the media. 12 Veils, you were asking about why these other press isn't coming out, right? I actually talked to Minister Byrd the day before the rally, 2 days before the rally, and we did the town hall. No, that was on Wednesday, right? The town hall. And I was like, yo, what about the press? And you could see they didn't show up. Actually, who showed up? It was Christopher Leon Johnson showed up. I showed up, and there was some other dude who was filming. I haven't seen that appear on anywhere. So maybe they'll give me it looks supposedly, right, Libertarians are going to let me on. Supposedly, we're going to see if WBAI picks me up. And if so, I'm definitely going to be the wedge that helps you guys get in. I'm definitely going to make sure that you guys get more coverage. I know 12 Veil's been working on activist issues for decades. I've been seeing you. I just really didn't get to meet you until more recently, but I've definitely noticed you before.
Yeah.
They also said that there's been a rise in ODs in the jail system. Shout out to Talia Wufka. I know that we've been trying to get up, talk about fentanyl and the problems that's been causing. I've just been super busy. But we will get more into that. But yeah, the fentanyl is a problem. Yeah. And also, once again, there is a tie to China that I would like to do a show on later on. And keep watching my show. Please subscribe to the channel. And you can see I'm also, as a scientist, understanding the chemical process and things like that. There's some interesting things that I can talk about on the fentanyl side of things. Anything else, really? Oh, okay. So another thing, just to go back to the factionalization of the left, or maybe centrist or whatever, right? I know Dinnick, I don't know if you're going to watch this. I know you say you're centrist. But I remember at National Action Network, they were like, oh yeah, AOC is going to do her thing. AOC has not come out to support Reverend Keith Gadsden or Nolan Farrell once again. It seems like there's some type of It seems strange that DSA would continue to ignore the case of the second longest wrongfully incarcerated man in New York State history, even though they speak all their rhetoric. Um,
Yeah.
but I think that by pushing this issue, we might be able to hold them accountable and expose them for their hypocrisy.
Hmm.
Um, let's see, yeah. Any ideas about how we can help make that happen?
I don't know. I don't think AOC cares unless she gets anything out of it. I don't think she really want to go against cats. So I
Okay.
think that's a waste of time.
And 12 Veils just revealed who the other person was filming the actual event besides you and myself, right? With no media showed up. It was actually the National Action Network media, and they showcased that video at the youth huddle, right? They showed all the kids. I remember watching the thing. They said some of the kids were under 10, right? They weren't even alive as long as Nolan Farrell, the shorter one, was wrongfully incarcerated. So if they're telling their kids, they're not going to allow themselves to lose that fight easy. And I do appreciate, the National Action Network on the ground helping out and for being a pioneer as in terms of that, right? We might not agree with everything they do, but they're showing up. And, Dion Powell did show up, but he wasn't willing to put Blexit on the to support this particular issue. If people want to leave the Democrat Party and they go to another organization that's not willing to help with critical issues like this, then what good is it? So I
Yeah.
challenge, Candace Owens, if you ever see this, right? Do you ever have time to look at New York, right? Or Blexit leadership here in New York or the Northeast region? I challenge y'all to make this an issue for leadership and to, bring Reverend Keith Gadsden, Nolan Farrell on stage at when Candace Owens comes to town. What's up? You gonna help us out or not?
Mhm.
That's why we're doing this work. Yeah, I'm not here to. Candace Owens, yeah, might be minorly attractive, but there's a lot of attractive ladies I could talk to. Yeah. Oh, there's also something made possibly with me and that the president of Hunter College, Jennifer Robb, will actually be stepping down, and actually there's been some controversy surrounding that. There's a fundraiser coming up, and maybe the person who testified against that asked for the video to be taken down, but there may be some protests going on at Hunter College very soon at the
What?
fundraiser in early June.
What, what thing?
The thing is that Jennifer Robb ran actually a culture of fear and intimidation at Hunter College. It was very top down. They actually sent interns to the White House, and the guy who they
Yeah.
sent as an intern to the White House when I was in school was actually super corrupt. He was a student, and I actually revealed how administrators were taking trips to some place called Camelback Resort. It's actually one of the largest resorts. They have a ski lodge, they have a water park, all in the same facility. And they were doing that for a leadership retreat. And I was exposing their corruption and how they're corrupting our kids at a very young age.
Yeah.
And how they got their cell phones paid for. Now, they still work in there. And that's actually another large reason why I'm an activist, because I was on the path to becoming, I told you I'm a scientist. I was tutoring college level mathematics and sciences, and they threatened my medical school, my career in the medical industry to play ball and to not address the situation. So when I was running, that was when I think that was when the mayor's race was happening, and I was actually trying to make student and CUNY tuition an issue. Why it's so high, it's ridiculous, but they didn't want to carry that topic. So we're going to be addressing some of the intimidation factors that they use to keep students in line, and that should happen early June. We'll see. I think her name's Corey Edens. I don't know if you ever saw that interview, but that's something that might be popping off later on in a couple of weeks. Honestly, I'm not 100% about it. Corey Edens, her motivation for this fight may be not deep enough to really deal with the shenanigans that are sure to take
Hmm.
place. I'm not sure how mad she is. She's asking for her. They gave her a degree. She's asking them to rescind the degree. So if they do that for her, she may stop fighting. So
Yeah.
that's I have to see how long they're going to go.
Yeah.
So Great Wolf has 12 Veils says that she had leadership at Great Wolf, and that's cool, right? 12 Veils, but you look at I'm not mad at maybe. Do you need to have a leadership conference at a water park? 12 Veils. I mean, if you want to do that, okay. I'm not like saying that's the worst thing, but you got people like Christopher Leon Johnson, like myself, that go out day after day after day, right? Rains, shine, yeah, sweating out here, getting getting stuck to a wall, you know what I mean? And we could use some help. Those leadership conferences are only talking about certain issues that are not actually that are not confronting certain things, right? So there needs to be funding for people like us out here. And Impact Television wasn't there. Impact was always at the Saturday rally. Yeah, exactly. The other press that you see out there, and maybe there's a day where I become too big and stop paying attention. Then you can only trust yourself, right? So, right, that's a great question, 12 is why wasn't Impact Television at the Saturday rally? This is historic, and I will document every second of this. Yeah, because so a lot of strong leadership is saying, make this go away. We don't really, we're going to work hand in hand. Julia Salazar, she's the head of the state committee for crime and criminal justice. She should be involved on this. I have emails of me and Christopher Leon Johnson. Very early on when we first met up, I said, Christopher, criminal justice seems to be an issue for you. Me and Christopher Leon Johnson, let's have a sit down and talk with Julia Salazar. We're still waiting. I'm going to send that actually at the end of this, or maybe in another thing. Maybe even at the end of this call, I'll send her another email and say, sit down with me and Christopher Leon Johnson. Let's have a real discussion. Let's go, Julia. Let's go. Yeah, let's go. Yeah, we'll see. And, once again, love out to the cops that are doing the right thing. But if you're doing the wrong thing, we're going to hold you accountable. And it's not just the cops. It's also the DA. It's the lawyers. It's the judges. Everybody. We're coming after all of you. That's I am anyways. Yeah. Yeah, Rev Sharpton didn't talk about the rally on MSN. Exactly. He's under pressure. They're not going to help you till you win in. Yeah, I mean, at least he's stepping up. But you're right. Yeah, he's not talking about the rally on MSN. That would help. So if he's not going to do it, we got to find another way. And thank you once again, Christopher Leon Johnson, for filming that event. This is serious. Yeah, 12 Veils, and let's go. Thank you so much. Yeah. NYCHA does leadership training at the Mariah Carey Resort, and they go to other states like Florida and NOLA. They also went to Vienna. Oh my, and I swear to God, Koreans, if you're watching this from People's Forum and PSL, y'all flying Riley Park over to Korea. Okay, what does Riley Park really know about this? You know what I mean? All right, fly him over. Yeah, okay. Anyways, so those are pretty much the issues that I have on the lined up. Anything else really? I saw that regarding Jordan Neely, that Democracy Now's actually had a couple street artists to talk about it. They didn't confront anything, but I think there are people who are watching our stuff and they're trying to address some of the issues we're talking about. They're not ready to hold people accountable. They see we have a point. So I'm gonna keep driving it until we get there. Yeah. And anything else you want to bring up on today's show?
Basically, that's all I want to talk about. I mean, let me see what else I did this week. We had 12 Rikers. I talked about U of T. Let me see what else I did this week, because it was a small week for me. I don't know why, but I got gold 10 to my knees, by the way. Yeah, I got help out with that.
Yeah. Hey, man, much love to you, man. Yeah. And last thing I wanted to, 12 Veils just dropped something. She said, NYCHA is sneaky and resident leadership doesn't document anything. You're right. That's why it's so important to have people like Christopher Leon Johnson.
Majority of them are dirty. Let's talk about NYCHA over here. Majority of leadership in NYCHA, they're real corrupt. They just kept a lot of them go both state. They kiss everything they can to make themselves satisfied, make themselves look good. Not the association, but the presidents themselves look good. So that's what it is with them. They're just fucking horrible. Like majority of them are trash. Not all of them, but majority of them are garbage. Yep. I want to talk about this recently. Sunday, by the way, we had a great time thanks for inviting me out to the event on Sunday, to your art show. That was a beautiful art show, by the way.
It's cool. It was all right, yeah.
Swing by and support your art show. I really appreciated it.
Well, I really hope the people that came here, right, start subscribing to your stuff, man. I'm a big fan of yours, man. Yeah.
Yeah. One more thing I want to talk about recently. There was on Friday. There was a event that was launched by members of the GOP about they trying to make New York State a battleground state. So that was going on with Republicans. I went there Friday to support them. instead,
It could
it
be.
was not bad.
Upstate has a lot of is heavily Republican. Upstate,
Yeah.
So that they face that off, and if they can really, that would be a huge shift.
Yeah.
So it's possible, and they're hungry for it. Once again, if you want our support, you got to help us, and you got to be put us into real, lift us up, and stop trying to play games. You think you're smarter than us. I'm not stupid, all right? We ain't stupid out here. So don't try to play games, man. We'll see what's up. It's game over.
Yeah.
That's what's up. All right. So I think that's pretty much the show. Unless there's anything else you want to talk about.
Nothing else really at all. Nothing else. But the next week's show will be great. Can't wait next week.
Make sure you check us out next week. Is this going to be? We usually do it in the morning. It won't be dependable every time, but should I just start marketing it as 9 o'clock? It seems like that's usually.
Yeah, it'll be great. Like 9 o'clock. Yeah.
So I'll start. I might even start making some little shorts and stuff like that, and say every week 9 o'clock. This is a thing. And I think it's a hot show. And,
yeah, it is.
I'll try to get this. Maybe you can get this reposted on WBAI or something on a regular basis. I'm looking into that. Yeah. Once again, this has been a great relationship, and I'm looking forward to a lot more productive stuff. And 12 Ales, maybe one of these days we'll have you on. Maybe Jim Mangles, one of these days we have you on. Thanks again to all the watchers. Your issues need to be addressed as well. We'll figure out how we're going to keep going on with this show, but it's going to keep going on.
Cool.
Thanks again.
Thank you. Appreciate it, man.
All right, I'm going to hit stop.